John Deere is a company where it all began for me. I have done 2 internships with Deere, after which point I have accepted a full time role on a team of my choice. And the hardest part was getting that first internship, which is what I want to discuss in this video. For those unfamiliar with John Deere, it is a large manufacturing company founded in 1837, and they make a wide variety of different equipment ranging from small residential lawnmowers to tractors, combines, construction equipment, and so on. Although I was always aware of John Deere's existence, I was not targeting the company at that time as remote work was pretty rare, and so I focused on companies that were within driving distance of my college. Despite applying all over the place, I was getting no results. But I knew that getting an internship was essential to my career and that it would help me land a job upon graduation from college. Thankfully, my school had a career office which had a calendar of upcoming career related events for students. And one of the biggest events was the upcoming career fair for engineering students. It happened once in the fall and once in the spring. Although it was inconveniently scheduled right over my classes on that day, I still decided to go ahead and attend and see if I could figure out an internship through the career fair. This was my first software engineering career fair, and it was honestly overwhelming. There were a lot of companies and a lot of students. It was very crowded, and the lines to speak to a recruiter at a company were sometimes 30 minutes or longer. So in order to maximize my chances of getting an internship, I actually ended up skipping a lot of companies and only going to the ones that had reasonable wait time and I was also interested in. That year, John Deere had a giant booth at the career fair, and so they had enough staffing to go through students pretty quickly, and therefore it was one of the companies that both fit my interests and had a reasonable wait time. So I went ahead and waited in line. In the future, as part of this career video series, I will go ahead and make a video about career fairs and what it's like to be a student looking for an internship or a full-time role, and what it's like to be on the other side, representing the company and speaking with students, as I've been on both sides at this point. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the career fair itself. However, just know that my experience was relatively standard. I approached the booth, I filled out some information about myself on an iPad, and then I waited in line to speak with an engineer, at which point we had a quick chat about my experience, about opportunities at Deere, and I was asked to provide my resume. So make sure you have that ready when you go to a career fair. They also explained that majority of Deere locations are in Midwest and asked me if I would be willing to relocate for my internship should the opportunity become available, and I definitely said yes. To my pleasant surprise, I got a call back from Deere the same evening at about 10 p.m. and they asked me if I could come in and interview the next morning at 8 a.m. Good thing I had my suit ready to go. Deere was super fast to move with the interview process, and just the following week I had to take some more time away from my classes and fly to Moline to John Deere's headquarters to do my final round of interviews. The interviews were a mix of behavioral questions using STAR method and questions about core engineering principles, math, and previous projects that may be relevant to my future internship role. Shortly after my last round of interviews, Deere ended up offering me a summer internship role, which I was super happy about. All other companies from the career fair were just starting to respond to my application. Some may have offered me to interview, which I have politely declined because at that point I've already accepted an offer with Deere. That first internship was definitely the hardest one to get and the most nerve-wracking. I had very little experience trying to get a job in the software industry, but I will say that it does get easier after that point. The second and third internship and then a full-time role after that were a lot easier to obtain than that first initial internship. For those who are still in school and are looking to get into Deere, I highly recommend checking out your career fair to see if Deere is on a list of attendees. if attending a career fair is not an option for you, do know that Deere does have a referral system, and I recommend leveraging your network to get a referral when you're applying for jobs at the company to increase your chances of success. Either way, I wish you the best of luck finding your dream job, and I will go ahead and try to answer all your questions in the following videos.